We know now.
Okay.
Hey, this is Oldecam. Today we're going to do a consumer report that basically has to do with buyer beware when you see an advertisement by a fast food place, because.
But shouldn't the buyer beware all the time anyway?
Yeah, but no, you really have to be buyer beware because the companies actually in reality don't have to honor the advertisements.
Really?
No, the fine print says.
Oh, valid only at participating locations.
That's right, and we found out. Actually, we found out the hard way by going to. Since they didn't even bother to respond to us, I figured that the people over at Jack in the Box really don't care that their stores aren't honoring things. But we simply went in to get a smoothie at a half-price sale. We went in, we actually asked the person at the counter if the price was right. They did honor it. We stood right next to the sign that says half price.
Could it be so blatant?
It could be so blatant. No, we did. We asked. We then, admittedly, the young lady was her first day on the job, but she was having problems. There were people standing next to her that were supposed to be helping her that basically did not help. But she basically charged us full price for a half-price smoothie. So we debated that issue, and we debated, and nobody could actually see that anything had been done wrong, which is sort of a tip-off that they're not honoring the half price.
Well, actually, the problem was that when we canceled the order and asked for our money back, and they kept saying, well, what's the problem?
Yeah, the manager came over. The manager repeatedly couldn't see that there was any problem also. She kept wanting to know. But finally, we just ate the money that we had gave them. Basically, we were in a sense defrauded by the company. I mean, they would have given it back to us eventually, but
if we waited there another 10 minutes
right.
to argue with them as to why we should have our money back.
But we did contacted the news department of Jack in the Box to tell them, what they thought of this as a story, about their company. They never even bothered to get back to us. Basically, it's because, one, the stores, they no longer care about whether they have your business or not. That's just the way it is. If you do business with them, okay. If you don't do business with them, okay. Second, they also have a proviso in everything that they do that says at participating stores only, and the store can actually decide not to participate in the middle of a transaction.
Wait a minute, how can they decide not to do it right then? Well, actually, we've seen that.
Because we've seen it. It's not just Burger. It's not Jack in the Box. It's Burger King. It's McDonald's. We've had the thing at McDonald's where they've decided not to honor the things. I mean, we tried to buy, their drinks that were on sale. They decided not to honor the thing. Once again, the wind is covered with it.
Oh, they ran out of cups.
We ran out of cups, and they sat there. Well, we gave you. An item that was twice the worth of the cup. Well, no, the cup was a big giant thing, and they give us a little tiny thing.
Because that was the regular price of the other cup, which of course was of more value, but had less soda.
And then they have a one drink refill, and it's half the size of the other cup to begin with. So you're not getting the same as you would pay for. But that's it's just a simple thing. They have. Okay, my family comes from the restaurant business. I know that when I was growing up, let's put it this way. My mother goes clean back to Mel's Drive-In down in Hollywood. I used to spend a lot of time down in that drive-in. But they believed in customer service was important. They wanted you to come back to that restaurant. They didn't want you to go to somebody else. They wanted to come back. Today, though, they no longer care.
Do you think it's because they're chains?
Well, it's just, to them, customers are an inconvenience. They know that people are going to come. If you don't come in, somebody else is going to come in. So if they lose you, and if they figure also the rule of thumb is like 4.5 people are going to not complain for everyone that does. So if one person complains, so you lose 5 people. Who cares?
I know, but you can always tell. I don't know about you, but when you go to a restaurant or a fast food place, you can tell when the franchise owner is there or the owner because of the way they maintain it, the way the customer service is. Now, part of it is that when you get good customer service, it really stands out.
Yeah, but if you don't, like I said, I went into a McDonald's once, which is basically, they say it's a very large franchisee. I set my my unopened food down on a table so I could go get some napkins. I came back and my food had been thrown in the trash by the owner of the franchise. And her response was, well, you shouldn't have left it. I thought you were, I thought you would, the food hadn't been opened. They didn't even offer to give me anything back. That was how she felt about the customers. But this,
So you can ask them to change it, you can ask them to replace it, but be prepared to wait and wait.
Debate and if you file a complaint, this is where you have all the consumer reporters tell you to do this, tell you to do that. I can guarantee you that unless you can get through to the person at the top, they do not care, because the object is to dump you right back to the people that caused the problem.
So how do you know if you complain if that's how they treat it?
Because you will get a call generally from the management of the place, and they'll say, how can we help you? Basically, when you get that phone call that basically he or she are just going to bury it. Because if they just tell the people above them what's been taken care of, it's taken care of. I mean, and complaining again, if you complain another time, what happens?
What happens?
They send you right back to the same person again.
Well, that does no good.
Does you no good.
So basically all you do is get frustrated and
you stop.
You stop complaining there, or you just don't go to that business anymore.
And if you complain enough, they list you as a crank, and then they get a court order against you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It happens all over the time. You complain about bad service, they simply go to court and have you listed as someone harassing them. That's their attitude, because they pay the lawyers to be on they're there all the time, so they can go after you for simply demanding that you be given service.
Well, like for our part, I mean, all we wanted was our money back that we gave them to pay for the stuff we didn't get.
But they couldn't understand why we wanted our money back.
Well, that's also a problem. I mean, at least they could speak English, because some of the places they don't speak English.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what they're used to.
But basically, and to be honest, thing about consumer reporting is that basically there was a time it was effectual. Today, basically, for instance, you have to call some people personally now. They no longer will accept emails. Burger King will not allow you to email them. You have to contact them personally. And other companies now, you have to contact them directly. They will not take any other thing but a personal phone call, and then they dump you off on a personal phone call. You have to wait like 20 minutes to get through. It's all about, they know that they can bury the complaints always. So, I mean, consumer reporting just isn't what it used to be. David Horowitz would have a hard time today. Ralph Nader would have a hard time today. If you can't get to the guy at the top or the woman at the top, they're not going to pay any attention to you.
Well, a lot of it is buyer beware, and, well, that's just it.
It is all buyer beware on anything you see as an advertisement today. So till the next time, this is Oldecam.
And this is Not a Spring Chick.
Okay, this is Oldecam. I've been harassed by Not a Spring Chick.
Would I do something like that?
We're here yesterday, today, and tomorrow.